Hey, it's Justin and Bethany from the Flack fam, and today we wanted to talk about the Disney magic.
The Disney Magic is the first cruise ship owned and operated by Disney Cruise Line, and its maiden voyage was clear back in 1998. The ship has 11 public decks and can accommodate 2,700 passengers in 875 staterooms, and it has a crew of approximately 950.
Disney's fleet has grown since 1998, and the ships have not only gotten bigger, but they've also gotten more advanced.
On our most recent cruise, we sailed the Mediterranean on the Disney Magic. It was the first time we'd been on one of the smaller Disney ships since we sailed to Alaska back in 2017. And today we want to talk about the advantages and disadvantages, or the pros and the cons, of sailing on the 24-year-old Disney Magic.
Let's start with the biggest advantage of the Disney Magic, and that is location.
Absolutely. The Magic is the only Disney ship that is currently sailing through the Mediterranean, taking passengers to different ports in Spain, France, Italy, and Greece.
Our second pro of the Disney Magic is its size.
Yes, this is going to come up a couple of times in this video, but for this point, what we mean is that the size of the ship makes it easier to get around, and there are fewer people on board.
Like we said earlier, the ship can accommodate 2,700 people, and due to restrictions that are in place in 2022, there were less than 1,200 passengers, which made the ship feel very private.
We pretty much had the gym and the rainforest to ourselves the entire trip, and the dining rooms were fairly empty, but we know it isn't always like that.
Number 3 on our list of pros is the quick service food options.
We recognize that for the most part, the offerings on all of the Disney ships are pretty similar. Burgers and fries, chicken strips, sandwiches, fruit and veggies, salads, and pizza. But on the Magic, they had 2 shawarma options that really blew us away.
The fourth pro we're going to talk about isn't unique to the Magic, but it isn't on all of the Disney ships, and that is Rapunzel's Royal Table.
We hadn't experienced this restaurant until this cruise, even though we've been on quite a few Disney cruises. And honestly, we really liked it. The food options were a nice change, and the show was a lot of fun.
Our number 5 advantage to sailing on the Disney Magic is honestly a strong one that may not last. We're talking about a cast member who has made many of our cruises very memorable. Her name is Tisa, and she is a member of the entertainment staff.
For those of you that have been on a Disney cruise and attended the adult shows at night in the clubs, Tisa is literally the best game show host and entertainer you will ever see.
We were very happy to hear that she'd been assigned to the Disney Magic because the last we had heard, she was no longer with the company. We spoke with her on the cruise, and she told us that after a short stint of not being with the company, they brought her back, and she will now be working on the Magic for the foreseeable future.
Tisa is absolutely the top reason to choose a Mediterranean cruise on the Disney Magic.
What if people want to go to Alaska? Should they choose the Med because she's there?
100%. Okay, obviously not, but one of the most common questions we hear is, why would you go on a cruise designed for children? Tisa really makes the Disney cruise feel like it's made for everyone.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that may be seen as a disadvantage on the Disney Magic. Admittedly, these things may not be deal breakers, but they are things that stood out.
The first is probably the most obvious thing because of the age of the ship, and that is the wear and tear.
I think we mostly experienced this in 2 places, our stateroom and the Walt Disney Theater.
The seats in the Walt Disney Theater had fabric and wood that were just a little worn, but it was noticeable, and the millwork throughout our stateroom showed signs of damage. The bathrooms had rust coming off of some of the metal fixtures, and some of the areas had been patched up with caulk to the point that it was noticeable that it was just a quick patch job.
The couches showed a lot of fraying, and the patio had a fair amount of rust.
It wasn't something that ruined our trip by any means, it's just something that happens to any ship or hotel over time.
Number 2 on our list of disadvantages was also on our list of advantages, and that is the size of the ship. Because it is smaller, there is less space for activities, the staterooms are smaller, and there are less options for laundry.
Which was very apparent to us because we were blessed, yes, blessed, to be right across the hall from one of the 2 laundry rooms on the ship, and it had a constant flow of traffic.
Number 3 is related to number 2 in that due to the size of the ship, the dining room options are limited. Specifically, you don't have Remy as an option for adult dining. There is not ice cream or a candy shop, and there are fewer after-hour bar options, which can make them feel overly crowded.
Especially when you want to see Liverpool play Real Madrid, and so does the rest of the ship, so you all squish into O'Gill's together.
Number 4 is kind of nitpicky and really wouldn't have been added to our list if we weren't aware that it has been fixed with the introduction of Disney's newest ship, the Wish.
We're talking about the Wi-Fi. It's ridiculously slow on the Magic, and it costs per megabyte, which is insane with the internet of 2022.
The 5th and final thing on our disadvantage list is another picky one. We love the rainforest in the spa on the Dream and the Fantasy. We love having more space and the option to go outside and sit in the hot tub while the breeze cools you, or even during a rainstorm. It's just nice to be able to look out over the ocean while you relax.
The rainforest on the Magic is in the middle of the ship, and therefore you can't see outside. It's much smaller. It has a few heated loungers, a hammam sauna, a eucalyptus sauna that never smelled like eucalyptus, and 3 different rain showers. On the larger ships, there is also a dry sauna with a window that overlooks the ocean, additional heated loungers, and like Bethany said before, 2 hot tubs on the outside deck.
Don't get us wrong, it was nice to be able to come here and relax. It just felt like it wasn't as relaxing, maybe almost claustrophobic.
So there you go. In no particular order, our top 5 advantages and disadvantages to sailing on the Disney Magic in a sea of much larger and newer options. After going through all of that, would you recommend sailing on the Disney Magic?
As long as it is in a location I am interested in, I still think it's a fantastic option. It has great dining and nightlife, good options for the kids. We didn't even mention the aquadunk or pool areas.
That's because I didn't know if they were an advantage or a disadvantage.
You're right. Other than sitting in the hot tubs to watch movies on the funnel vision, we didn't actually spend a lot of time in the pool areas on this trip.
If you made it this far, you should hit that thumbs up and leave us a comment.
Maybe you're planning a cruise and have questions we can answer, or maybe you just want to share your thoughts. Either way, we'd love to hear from you.
Before you go, why don't you go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss another video from our family.
See you next week. Bye.
Before you go ahead and do that.
Don't do that. If we get comments like that.
Somebody better do that. Size matters. I told you.
Thinking about size too much.
Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. I'm glad, because I rewrote this like 10 times and was like, I don't know, but it did feel like
it was itty bitty.
there was no privacy. That was what I kept trying to say. Anyway.